Welcome to my presentation. In this presentation, we shall see how to represent equivalent fractions. So the question we have is, what is an equivalent fraction? What is an equivalent fraction? When the numerator and the denominator of a fraction are multiplied by or divided by the same non-zero number, the resulting fraction is equivalent to the original fraction. So that is what it means. So let us look at it with look at that statement with an example. Let's say we have a fraction. This is the original fraction. We want to write an equivalent fraction for this fraction, 2/3. The equivalent fraction would be as follows. The equivalent, let me write this here, equivalent fraction. The equivalent fraction, we're going to take the given fraction, which is 2/3, and then if we were to multiply and divide by a number, and then multiply the numerator parts, multiply the denominator parts. 2 times 2 is 4, that is in the numerator. 3 times 2 is 6. So therefore 4/6 is an equivalent fraction of 2/3. 4/6, we then come back and then say 4/6 is an equivalent fraction of the original fraction, which is 2/3. So therefore, when the numerator and the denominator of a fraction are multiplied by or divided by the same non-zero number, the non-zero number here is 2. In this case, in this example, we have taken multiplied and divided by 2. By the same non-zero number, the resulting fraction is equivalent to the original fraction. The resulting fraction, when we multiplied and divided by 2 to the original fraction, which is 2/3, the equivalent fraction we have obtained was 4/6. So therefore 4/6 is called an equivalent fraction of the original fraction 2/3. Okay, good. Let us take another example. Let's say this time we have the original fraction as 4/6, and we want to write an equivalent fraction to that. 4/6 is the original fraction, and we want to write it in terms of an equivalent fraction. So if we were to, by looking at it, we can say 4 and 6 are multiples of 2. If I were to come back and then write 4/6, I can write 4 as 2 times 2 is 4, and then 6 I can write as 2 times 3. So when we have numbers in the numerator and denominator which are common multiples of one another, we can strike them out. 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 1 is 2. What we are left with here is 2/3. So 2/3 is an equivalent fraction of 4/6. We can simplify the numbers if they are multiples of one another, or we can enlarge them by multiplying and dividing by the same number, as we have seen in the previous example. So 2/3 is an equivalent fraction of 4/6 in this case. Let's look at another example. This time, in this example, write an equivalent fraction with a given denominator. So if we have a fraction like this, 3/9 is equal to what number divided by 45? We want to know what this number is going to be. We want to know what that equivalent fraction there should be. So let us write this in these different steps. Step number 1. Divide the larger denominator by the smaller denominator. The larger denominator we have is 45, and then if we divide it by the smaller denominator, which is 9, 45 is a multiples of 9, so 9 times 5 is 45, 9 times 1 is 9. Therefore, if we were to strike the 9's out, or if they are common, we can strike them out. So therefore, the result is going to be equal to 5. So 9 times 5 is 45. So if we were to take in the second step, we're going to multiply the numerator and denominator by this number 5. So the original fraction is 3 over 9, and if we were to multiply and divide by 5, multiply and divide by 5 like that, the result is going to be equal to as follows: 3 times 5 divided by 9 times 5. 3 times 5 is 15, 9 times 5 is 45. So therefore the number we are looking for is 15. So 15, we can write this one as 15 over 45. I'm going to write this one as step 3. In step 3, we're going to say 15 over 45 is an equivalent fraction, of 3 over 9. So this is how we can figure out, we can write an equivalent fraction with a given denominator. The numbers could be 3 over 9, and therefore we could figure out what that number in the numerator is going to be on top of the denominator 45, and these are the different steps we're going to follow to be able to find that number out. And then in this particular case, we found out that 15 over 45 is an equivalent fraction of 3 over 9. In my next presentation, we shall see examples on equivalent fractions.